As I pull this out, it should let this relax. I have a GMC Yukon here. This one got hit good in the back here, and it completely demolished. This whole back panel piece is completely destroyed right here. So this is all going to get replaced. And this comes in 4 separate pieces. This is the bottom section of it. And you can see here how this is perfectly flat. And that's completely twisted up. This is the top cap. Goes just like this. And I have these 2 side pieces for each side as well, which lap on top of that. This one also has frame damage. These ends of this frame are all twisted up. Luckily, GM actually sells a service part to splice just this back section in. It'll get cut right in here somewhere. It even comes with a sleeve on it, so this will slide inside the existing frame and then it'll get welded all the way around. Then also, same thing on this side. I'm going to first go ahead and get out our measuring system, and I'm going to measure this frame and make sure the rest of the frame, besides the damaged portions, make sure the rest of the frame is all square and right where it's supposed to be. Then I'll know the frame's in good shape, and if I need to, I'll go ahead and I'll have to square up the frame, but I don't think the frame's going to be far off other than these damaged sections. Then I will make some pulls back here, roughly pull out all of this damage, and go ahead and start cutting this all apart. Now I have to go to 5 points in the center section of the vehicle, and there's different attachments they have here depending on what points you're going to go to, but that will match the measuring system to the vehicle. Now the rest of the frame measured out perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna make some measurements on these damaged sections, mainly just to document it, because they're gonna get replaced anyway, but that way I have it documented. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my ram on the bench, and I'm gonna make a couple pulls and roughly pull out all of this damage back here. You could actually see from all of this shifting, it actually caused a buckle in the quarter panel right here. As I pull this out, it should let this relax, and I'll still have to do a little bit of work here, but it'll take the tension off of it. So that clamp I was using wasn't biting very good. It's not one I normally use, but I got it pulled out enough to go ahead and start cutting it apart. So I'm gonna get a couple blankets up to protect the front part of the interior, and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this back part apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these frame sections cut out of the way. It'll give me better access to getting this back panel off. So I measured out my cut mark and I marked it just slightly long so I have a little room to trim it back. And I'm gonna go ahead and make my cuts and then I'll trim it back from there. So I have this one roughly jigged together. I have these frame rails bolted up by the body mount. I have our measuring system out again. I'm gonna go ahead and measure this. I gotta recenter this to the vehicle so it's matched, so it knows where the vehicle's sitting. Then I could go ahead and come back here and measure these, make sure they're sitting right where they're supposed to be, and then I'll be able to go ahead and weld those seams up. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this reinforcement bar on as well, just to get everything locked together. So this one is measuring out perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna weld these seams, get the frame all welded together. Then I will get back on this back panel. This is already fit up, it fits very nicely, so, but I'm gonna get those welded now. So I have this one the rest of the way fit together. I'm gonna go ahead and start welding. I'm gonna do all my spot welds, and then I also have some MIG welds to do back here. And I also have to do some spot welding underneath here on the bottom of this. So I'm gonna get this welded together the rest of the way. Before I start spot welding, I'm gonna do a test weld on these coupons to make sure this is working correctly. And then what I do is a destructive test. I'm gonna lock these vice grips on here. And you wanna make sure it tears out correctly. So if you look here, you can see how it pulled through the metal there. That means we had good penetration and it welded good. So I am good to go. Well, I just about have this one wrapped up. This back end is ready for paint. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna knock out this quarter panel repair, get this fixed up and primed up. Then I will send this one to the paint shop.